Hi, it's Andrea Dancing Star, and it's Saturday. And since I recorded all of the videos that don't have sound, I've become a little bit OCD with checking my sound. So now I'm checking it twice. I'm not making a list, but I am checking it twice. And for the last two times, the sound worked. So I'm going for it. Rory is having fun over there. There's an awesome, cord, which is, she has a trillion toys, but, let's chew on the laptop cord because that's funner. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. I just wanted to talk. It's been a wild day, and for me, honestly, I think it's been a very good last 2 days. I've been at work. I work on the psychiatric acute care unit. So, of course, it's crazy every day. It's in the name. But where I am geographically, I'm very close to the reservation. So, I mean, Native Americans are abound. And, I'm from Texas. So I came from, I came from Texas, and I'm 44. So I went to school in like the old time school, like where we still said the Pledge of Allegiance. We learned about the Civil War. Learned it. We learned the history that they wanted us to know. The history that fit the narrative. But I always had this fascination with Native Americans because in my mind, I remember when I was in class, I was thinking, it seems like they were doing everything right. Like, why do we have to change it? Why do we have to change it? Why do we have to change it? We just had to change it because we could have capitalism, I guess. I don't know why we had to change it, but also I had when I came here 5 years ago, I had this angelic vision of Native Americans in my head, all, perfect, loving, love the earth, kind, spiritual, amazing. And that's kind of my fault because I'm kind of fantastical to begin with. It comes from being locked in a room for, 10 years when I was a kid, and I would just have to use my mind to entertain myself. So I come up with really awesome stories because I had a really shitty childhood. So I just wanted to come up with something good, and I wanted to think of things that are going to be good and what could be good. So it's kind of it's not their fault that I came here with that vision. No, it's not. But I came here with that. And, I've talked about this a couple of times before on my channel through my experiences and since I've been here, how I haven't traveled a lot of places in the world, but I have traveled a little bit. Silly cats. I love them. And I've never been treated the way that I've been treated here in any state. Because I'm white. So I'm the evil white man. I'm the evil white woman. Not every single person has treated me like that, but a great majority have. A great majority have. And you know what I've noticed? Because, first of all, I'm not drunk. And many of the people who are telling me this, it's not a stereotype. They're shit-faced. They're drunk. And I think it really hurt me in the beginning. It really hurt me because I was like, have so much like respect for you, and I hold you in such high regard. And why are you being so mean to me? I'm not mean to you. I have done nothing to you. And you know what it is? It doesn't matter what your culture is. It doesn't matter what your geography is. It doesn't matter who your ancestors are. You can choose to be a nice person, or you can choose to be a fucking asshole. And the ones that I met were choosing to be an asshole. It's nothing deeper. I mean, I think there is a lot of things that are deeper. But fundamentally, some people are just hateful people. And it's probably because they grew up in that way. They grew up with hate. They weren't hugged. You know, no one like stood up for them when they were younger. I don't know. There's so many things, you know. Quite obviously, if you take a look at like any of the body cam videos that are on YouTube, you can realize there's some fucked up families out there. There's some fucked up people out there. So obviously we're doing something wrong in America. But I was telling a Native American at work today about myself. We were just sitting and talking. I bought a bunch of art supplies. With my own money, I bought a bunch of art supplies with my own money, took it there. We made pottery. I bought air dry clay. I brought paint. I brought watercolor paper. I brought a bunch of oil pastels. Brought a bunch of crayons. You know, it's the psychiatric acute care unit, so you can only have so many. I can't bring like watercolor pencils, and I can't bring pencils. It's a weapon. So, you know, I brought the things that we could have on the unit. And for the most part, for most of the 12 hours that I was there, every person was so grateful and so happy. And it made me feel really good because I felt like I actually helped in a time when people are having a rough time. And that's the sole reason why I have my job and why I got the job that I got. That's why I applied for it. I knew what I was getting into. But we're just sitting and bullshitting, talking, telling stories, you know, telling stories. Everybody's just telling stories. And I was telling a story about whenever I was a child. She's like running around with one of my dirty socks. She's so silly. And I was just telling a story about, you know, my childhood. Like it kind of got brought up, you know, like the conversation went into such a way that I could talk about where I was in the summertime. So when I wasn't locked in a room during the school year, I would get shipped off to my grandparents. Amazing. Amazing. I loved it. I loved it when I was a kid. Hattie Beans is just looking at me. I loved it when I was a kid. I still love it. I wish I could go back to that. That was the best. Those were the best years of my life. The best days of my life were the summers when I was on a farm. And I told them about what I did. You know, and what I spent my day doing, which was not a lot, you know, playing in cornfields, catching horny toads. I would put them all on my shirt because they're like grippy, you know, and I wanted to keep them. You know, I was like 5. I wanted them to be my pets. So I would pet them and I would just walk around, find another one, play with like, if my pawpaw said it was okay, I'd take some ears of corn off and play with those like they were baby dolls, you know, the red corn silks. You can like braid their hair. I mean, I was a 5-year-old kid in the middle of this big ass farm in the panhandle of Texas by myself every day, you know? So, and one of the guys, he was like, What exactly did he say? Hi, Hattie Beans. He said, do you just like to mock every religion that you learn about? And I was like, whoa, now, what are you talking about? And he was telling me, well, he didn't tell me, but hi, honey. One of his friends, the other guy, he was telling me that the horny toad is their che. Okay. I think that means grandfather. No one's actually told me exactly what that means, you know? And I'm just a white girl from Texas. So, I mean, it's not like nobody told me whenever I was a kid, you know, I didn't grow up knowing that. And they certainly didn't have it in textbooks. So that's all I've really been told. Okay. Well, guess what? I'm not Navajo. And guess what? I was a little kid. And guess what? What I was doing. Yeah, at 5, I just wanted to fucking mock the Navajo Nation. Come the fuck on. Like, why be so hateful? And it really got to me because, like, why are you so, like, hateful to me? I'm just telling you a story of whenever I was a kid. And the only thing that I can come up with is maybe what I was doing was something that maybe he should have been doing. Or maybe he should be doing, considering it may be very important in his culture, and he's not doing it. And he's doing drugs and drinking and cocaine, everything else. You know, instead of maybe, and maybe he's pissed at me, because he's probably pissed at himself. It's not my fault. I'm not the one. But I was the one for him to yell at. I'm always. I've not put myself there. So it's kind of a given. You know, there's going to be bad days. There's going to be bad moods. There's going to be moments at that job. You know it, you know, and you're there, you know, the nurses sit in the bubble. They still get it too. But, you know, they're in the bubble, you know, at the nurses station. The doctors are like upstairs in their office. But the techs, we're sitting right there for 12 hours at a time. So we're going to get it. I get it. I understand it. But it all boils down to, it goes back on me where I probably cared too much in trying to communicate and get to know this person. Because I wanted to try and help. Silly white girl. It made me cry. It literally made me cry. It really made me cry. Because I've met some hateful people in all of the states where I've lived. I've met some hateful people in all of the towns that I've lived. I've never met a group of people that have so much deep hatred for a color of people. Seriously. I lived in the Bible Belt, you know. I lived in the South. It's astounding to me. So I know that actually the beauty way is like probably more of just like a proverb that they write on cards or paint. Maybe it's a song. But I know that it's really not actually any kind of a way. Because they've shown me that it's not any kind of a way. And it's really disappointing. It's really disappointing, you know? I didn't just start learning about Native Americans like when I got here. I had done like as much kind of research as I could on my own forever. You know? Forever. Just kind of one of my little hobbies. Learning what I can. Every now and then, working in a tattoo shop, being in a tattoo shop for as long as I was, you meet a lot of different people, a lot of different people, and you talk to people and you listen to people's stories. And, every now and then you pick up a few things, you can learn a few things. Every now and then you travel to a different place and you go to a bookstore and they've got like a cool Native American like handbook or something. You get that. You can read it, you just little things, but never straight from the horse's mouth like it is here. So I had this, again, it's my fault for like building it up in my head the way that I did, Jesus is the only person who does Beauty Way. I mean, it's the truth. Jesus is truly the only one who does Beauty Way, for fucking real. It just sucked. I mean, like it didn't make me, like the first time that it happened 4 years ago, it hurt and I got angry. I remember I made a video about it. Today, it was just like, man, I was really having hope for you that you could overcome this and you could let your beauty shine through. And you just showed me that no, you're not going to let it. You're going to let that dark stay. You're going to let that darkness stay. And that sucks. Because as much as people are mean or hateful or hurt me, I don't ever want anyone to stay in any kind of a darkness. I don't. I would never want that. Because the whole world is connected. And if one person is stuck there, then it's still going to affect everybody else. I want everybody to heal. It's kind of like akin to, it took the wind out of my sails, I guess. I mean, he wanted to hurt me and he definitely did. So he won. And I just wanted to come home and I wanted to talk to somebody. And you know what is really cool about this channel? Is I have had these moments for many, many, many years. But for the last 4 or 5 years, I've actually had people to talk to right here. And I want to thank you very much for being here for me, because I'm really good at being alone, but every now and then I really just want to talk to someone. And I have friends, I have a couple of friends. I mostly just talk to them at work, but I don't think they actually get me. I don't think that they know this side of me, like all the sides of me. And that's kind of the cool thing about this channel is I can just talk in front of this camera and I can totally be myself. And I don't have to worry really about anybody's face because I don't get to see it. That's kind of one of the beauty things about it. And I can just be totally real. And then you show me in the comments, you show me with your support that you're there and you get it and you care. And it's fucking amazing. So thank you. And if you watched to this part, I've always wanted to say this in one of my videos, but it's kind of tricky in the middle of tarot reading. If you've made it to this part, type in the comments beauty so I can see who actually watches and listens. I mean, I know a lot of people watch and listen, but it would just be nice for me to see. Because I kind of ramble and I can kind of think probably a lot of people wouldn't want to just sit down on a Saturday night and listen to this. But I really needed to say it. So thank you very much. I have one more day of work tomorrow, and then I'm thinking maybe of trying to go live tomorrow night, just for fun. If I don't, I'm definitely gonna record another video, and I'll post it as soon as I get finished recording it. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me. I love you very much. And I hope that y'all have a good Saturday night. Yeah. It's 8:47 here. So everybody go buy a Powerball because it's tonight. I love y'all.